National Security Advisor Hermogenes Esperon and the Foreign Affairs Department on Monday admit Chinese survey ships have a record of illegal entry in Benham Rise or Philippine Rise. The admission comes during the Senate Science and Technology Committee hearing on the exploration of the 13 million hectare underwater plateau of the eastern coast of northern Luzon. Senator Bam Aquino expresses alarm over reports of Chinese ships surveying the area without permit from the Philippine government. He cites the repeated unauthorized researches conducted by the Institute of Oceanology Chinese Academy of Sciences. Aquino asks the DFA if they have raised the issue with China. DFA Assistant Secretary Lourdes Iparaguirre says they discussed the issue during the bilateral consultation mechanism between the Philippines and China last February 13. Iparaguirre says the Philippines and China agreed during the meeting that all marine science research in Benham Rise should have consent from Manila. She adds China didn't object to this. Esperon says a Chinese ship illegally surveyed Philippine Rise in 2004, but he says the Philippine government wasn't able to detect it at the time due to lack of capabilities. Esperon adds the unauthorized 2004 research was used by China to back its request to officially rename 5 underwater features in the Philippine Rise. The National Security Advisor says he is concerned by the development but admits they do not have sufficient capabilities to address it. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque insists the Duterte administration does not think the 1986 EDSA revolution is fake news, despite an online poll conducted by Communications Assistant Secretary Mocha Uson. The country commemorated the 32nd anniversary of the People Power Revolution on Sunday. Roque says, quote, "According to the law, it is not fake news. According to the law, we honor the EDSA revolution, having declared it as a public holiday." He adds, quote, "We still recognize and we will always recognize EDSA not only as an important historical event, but it was the first bloodless people power revolution in the whole entire planet Earth, and it remains significant." Roque also says the Duterte administration allocated funds for EDSA Revolution commemorative activities, with the National Historical Commission of the Philippines in charge of organizing such events. Groups and citizens critical of the president took to the streets on the 32nd anniversary of the People Power Revolution to warn against threats posed by Duterte and his administration to democracy. They also urged Filipinos to be wary of a creeping dictatorship under Duterte. Senate President Coco Pimentel says it is possible that candidates of PDP-Laban and the new regional party of Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte-Carpio will face off in the 2019 elections. Pimentel, president of PDP-Laban, says the ruling party is set on fielding candidates nationwide. Asked if this means PDP-Laban and Duterte-Carpio's hugpong ng pagbabago will vie for the same posts in Mindanao, he says it is possible, but nothing is final until October, the deadline for the filing of the certificates of candidacy. Pimentel also says the new party of the presidential daughter will not have any effect on PDP-Laban. Citing party rules, Pimentel says members are allowed to join local political parties like HNP and party lists.
It should not have any effect kasi ang interpretation namin sa aming party constitution, members of PDP-Laban can be a member of a local party and even of a party list. So ang finorm naman ni Mayor Sara is a regional party which is also a local party. So wala dapat effect.
Duterte-Carpio earlier said there will be no issue should members remain with their existing national parties since the alliance is a regional one. Philippine National Police Chief Ronald De La Rosa says they are preparing for the possibility of a Part 2 of the Marawi siege, pointing out that other major Mindanao cities can be at risk. De La Rosa's statement comes just 4 months after the Philippine government liberated Marawi from local terrorists linked to ISIS. He says the PNP is holding simulation exercises with cops nationwide to prepare for possible terror attacks. De La Rosa says, quote, "It is ongoing in Davao and it will be replicated in other key cities in Mindanao to ensure no repeat of the Marawi siege." The PNP chief says Mindanao is a top region for possible attacks since its people are most vulnerable to recruitment by extremist groups. Several Twitter accounts that had been tweeting Russian propaganda are now tweeting exclusively about the Philippines. Twitter accounts at Ivan226622, at RickRick888, and at Bobbit2266 tweeted articles created by Russia Today and Sputnik and shared news articles in support of Catalan independence last year. Both Russia Today and Sputnik are Russian government-funded news sites that serve to spread Russian propaganda. Top Spanish newspaper El País reports all three Twitter accounts tweeted 24 hours a day and tweeted the exact same articles at the exact same times. El País says the three accounts are part of an online army of robot profiles who, armed with gasoline canisters brimming with fake news, stalk social media and fan the flames of debate as ordered by their generals. In November last year, the Spanish government said they had evidence Russian-based groups used Twitter, Facebook, and other sites to back the Catalonia referendum in an attempt to destabilize Spain. But from February 13 to 20 this year, at Ivan226622 tweeted 1,518 times. Most are retweets of news reports from the Philippine Daily Inquirer. Over that period, his tweets reached 43,337 accounts and had 1.9 million impressions, according to TweetReach, a social media analytics tool that measures reach and engagement. As of publication time, the account, which was opened in November 2012, has at least 1,310 followers and had tweeted at least 638,000 times. It is not the first time that questionable tweets raise concerns about possible Russian presence in the Philippine online space. In October last year, WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange, who resides at the Ecuadorian Embassy in London by right of asylum, retweeted a post by Rappler on an article about its ownership. The article reported on how Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte falsely claimed Rappler is funded by the Central Intelligence Agency. Assange added a comment in his retweet, quote, "Is Rappler right?" The tweet succeeded in casting doubt on Rappler's ownership. Twitter users replied to Assange asking for clarifications, although he replied to none of them. 3 months after Assange's tweet, the Securities and Exchange Commission revoked Rappler's license to operate for allegedly being owned and controlled by a foreign entity, a claim Rappler strongly denies. The Atlantic Council's Ben Nimmo says, quote, "The exact relationship between Assange and the Kremlin is murky, but he's certainly been extremely useful for the Russian government." Nimmo says Assange used to have a show on Russia Today and has been a speaker at Sputnik events. He adds, at the very least, WikiLeaks and Assange have been very useful tools for Russian influence operations.